Since we're in Vegas, I learned the shuffling method from one of the dealers. I don't think he was an actual dealer. It was an alley somewhere. He was like, hey kid, he's gotta shuffle cards. Leon X Montana asks, anything new on the pistol front? Oh, good thing you asked. So the Canik TP9 is something we're showing off here at SHOT Show this year. It's super cool. So I wasn't super enthused about it when I first saw it because I think the Canik is a cool pistol, but like most other striker fired guns or striker fired pistols in Airsoft, they're not really no one's really like done anything new with one in recent memory. But I was pleased to find out that when I disassembled stuff, they totally redid the way that the trigger mechanism works. So a lot of you guys that are familiar with Airsoft Glocks know about that like internal hammer with the roller on it. And that has some problems, mainly of which is the spring on that design is not particularly robust. It has a tendency to break really often and wear out really frequently. On top of that, if the gun is, I've had instances where when my Glock mags are too hot and I put the magazine in and pull the trigger on a hot day, sometimes it doesn't go off because it doesn't have enough spring pressure to go forward and fire the gun. In addition to that, it causes friction because we have that little roller that kind of sticks up and hits the blowback unit as the slide moves back and forth. That is not great for efficiency, especially as the guns get older and the springs wear out. So you have a little bit of friction when it catches itself on that hammer going back and forth. So what the Canik has done is they have a, I'm gonna call it a firing pin, a striker, because I don't know how to phrase this yet, but they've got like a firing pin that's attached to the trigger, and as you pull it, that just goes directly into the output valve on the magazine, and that's what fires and cycles the gun. When you're shooting it without, or when you're pulling the trigger without the magazine in it, it doesn't feel like anything because you don't have that wall of the pressure of the output valve on the magazine sitting there. But when you have the magazine in, it feels pretty much just like any other hammer-fired gun because you get that little break in the wall when you press the valve all the way and it releases that gas. So I was very surprised and interested to see how that worked. And I'm very excited to see how they move forward with that in the future because I think it offers up a lot of new possibilities and potential for changing up the way the slides are designed, changing up the way that the blowback units are designed. So I'm really excited about that gun. You should check it out whenever we post it up on our website for pre-sale.
All right, so, cool name. Surreal Snow 4649 asks, do I need a MOSFET when I have an 11.1 LiPo for my Airsoft gun? I've seen both sides and I'm not sure. My Airsoft gun is the EMG Hellbreaker. So the cool thing about your EMG Hellbreaker is that it comes with Aries EFCS gearbox system. So it already has like a MOSFET built into it. So that's gonna be just fine for you to use with an 11.1. In general, if you don't have a MOSFET and you're using an 11.1, what can happen is when you pull the trigger, it's pushing a shoe in between some contacts. And as those get really close, there can be arcing in between the contacts and that can cause corrosion over time. So as you're using an 11.1 without a MOSFET, without that circuit protection, eventually you're gonna wear through your trigger contacts or it's just gonna get corroded to the point where it's not working anymore. So using a MOSFET, even if it's just the one that plugs in between the battery and the gun, can help with that circuit protection and where it'll wait until that connection is made before it actually sends juice through the system. So definitely get a MOSFET if you don't have one and you're trying to use an 11.1 already. But with the Hellbreaker, it's got that Aries EFCS system, you're fine.
All right, from Apple43, I've noticed that almost every SEMA gun just jumped up about $30, which pissed me off.
Because I've been saving for my CM97. What is the reason for these increasing prices? Well, first of all, really sorry about that. In general, I think that not just in the airsoft industry, but for every industry really, COVID has not been kind.
At the end of the day, it comes down to shipping costs. I don't know who knows logistics out there, but shipping is more than 10 times in price for getting freight from overseas to the United States. Another thing too, if you watch any news about what's going on in Long Beach right now, there's about 100 ships off the coast and kind of just stuck getting product.
The lack of raw materials, so the price of raw materials is going up. Particularly for electricity in China to like produce a lot of these guns, it's getting a lot harder for those factories to do so. So just the price for the factories is increasing, so our prices have to increase.
It's hard getting people to go to work in the factories overseas with the entire COVID situation. So unfortunately, that's just the nature of the business. Prices are going up, inflation's really bad right now. So it's just a natural adjustment of goods that we all kind of expected, and is very hard for it all to hit at once. And we've seen a pretty big price jump across the board, not just with SEMA, but with several different brands.
A lot of the times we try our hardest to make sure that the prices are the best and most fair for the customer, but because of all these price increases, it's just we wouldn't be able to stay in business if we didn't increase prices for a lot of these products. I know it's frustrating, especially as an end user, when the thing that you were saving for jumped up in price, but unfortunately it's just kind of a sign of the times. It's tough. So I guess what I'm asking is that, bear with us. Like, we're trying to figure it out too. We're trying to figure out the best prices we can possibly give you while still maintaining competitiveness in the market. So we are always running sales though. So we're trying to, knock those prices down as best we can when we can do it. But thanks for sticking with us as a customer. Hopefully you can save up for that gun soon.
Creepy Airsoft asks, what is your favorite game mode for walk-on pickup games and why?
My favorite is what I call 3 cones down. One team attacks, one team defends. In the defending buildings, there are 3 cones hidden throughout which the attacking teams to knock over in order to win.
Great show. You keep me sane while sitting in traffic at work. Well, thank you for watching the show. We do appreciate it. Definitely helps me keep my sanity sometimes, so I'm right there with you there. So favorite game modes for walk-ons. I'm a pretty basic guy. I don't need too much to be happy. I'm very happy with a capture the flag, kind of like a Battlefield Rush sort of deal, where you have a objective that continuously backs up. And obviously, mega games are really fun. So it's really cool to get everybody on the field at once, going at it. Favorite's probably capture the flag, but I do spend most of my events at Milsim events. So shout out to Milsim West, American Milsim. You guys put on great events. But that, for walk-ons, capture the flag, definitely my thing.
My favorite game mode, it's super boring. I just like team deathmatch. I don't like a lot of thinking when it comes to my airsoft play. I don't like to think about oh, go grab this, objective or item or whatever. Worry about, like the strategy behind, grabbing this flag and getting to their side. I don't want to shoot people, man. So it's just like, oh yeah, that guy, different color, shoot that guy, shoot that guy, shoot that guy, shoot that guy. I just have to worry about going and shooting people that are not on my team. So that's my favorite gameplay style or gameplay mode, I guess. But it's a boring answer, I'm sorry.
All right, let's check out another question. Okay. Spaz WPD asks, which Airsoft release are you most excited for this year? Ooh, that's a good one. I really am excited for the Canik TP9 that we're releasing. That is, actually I've shot a real one and it's really easy to shoot. So the fact that it uses like a striker-based system, which is entirely different from how any gas pistol really works in Airsoft. Most have like an internal hammer. This one actually has a striker which pushes the back of the release valve on the magazine. That really interests me. So I'm really interested to see how those perform and the aftermarket parts that become available with that lineup.
All right, let's go ahead and mix up some questions here. And from Phoenix Feather Airsoft, your top 3 items of last year and what's the most exciting thing for 2022? Most exciting thing for me, man, that's a great question, but top 3 items from last year. Man, that's a great question. I haven't had to think of major product questions in quite some time, but if I had to say from last year, would probably be the Keltec RDB. That was a really unique bullpup, and bullpups have kind of gone the way of the dinosaur. There wasn't too many of them being released, and it's actually a really neat design. You get a lot of performance out of it, and it's actually a really snappy trigger. So I'm a big fan of RDB. When it comes to other stuff, I'd say RDB is number 1. I wasn't really too excited for too much last year. But most exciting for this year is, without a doubt, the new EPMs for the ARP9 series. They feed really well. PTS is known for their reliability. And then probably the new Canik pistols from Cybergun. That's something I never even knew was coming out. It was so exciting to see it here at the show for the first time. So that's probably my 2 biggest things for excited for 2022. So I'm looking forward to seeing those coming out.
Flanker Jack says, is it true that we, I like that, are getting an outpost in Vegas?
Yes. Yes, it's true.
Well, Flanker Jack, it's the plan. We may or may not have already looked at a location. We may or may not already have plans in place to bring you not only a badass airsoft store, but potentially a field. Stay tuned to our social media to find out more. I've already said too much. I'm gonna lose my job. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'll see you guys. Maybe I'll be on the streets of Las Vegas asking for money because I've lost my job because I've told you too much. I'm so sorry. NSRT has done crazy things to me. Stay tuned for more information.
Our goal is by this time next year, it will be open and that we will be able to showcase a lot of our SHOT Show guests to this location. Stay tuned.
Big news on the airsoft front. We at American Milsim are very excited about that. That's going to be awesome. For all you people out here in Vegas, you get an outpost. I mean, I wish we had one close to where I live. That'd be awesome.
All right, and finally, our last question is from Leon X Montana, or is it Leon X Montana? Who knows?
Biggest trend you see for the future. And this is from Leon X Montana. I'd say That's a tough one. I think Airsoft, if we're talking about SHOT Show as a whole, I think you're going to see a trend of a lot more airsoft companies getting bigger. I think more people right now are seeing ammo prices go through the roof, and they're deciding that, hey, I want to start using airsoft to be able to train and stuff like that. Trends, I think you're going to see a lot more PCCs, coming to market. I think those are hot. I think you're going to see a lot of SMGs come to the market, and that's probably going to be the new thing over the next few years. But hey, there's some great other products at the show.
Obviously, we're here at SHOT Show in the biggest booth that we've ever had, and the biggest airsoft booth that, as far as I'm aware, has ever existed here at SHOT Show. And the responses that we get from real gun companies and guys that do, training and law enforcement and stuff like that are far more positive than they ever have been. And that tells me that not only is the airsoft community growing, but the community at large outside of airsoft is taking notice of a really legitimate, fun hobby that also happens to be a great training tool. So that leads me to believe that we'll get even more exciting products, licenses, and partnerships with existing real gun companies bringing their products into the airsoft industry, which excites the heck out of me because I can't wait to see some of the cool stuff that not only we're releasing, but also, the real gun industry is thinking about bringing to the airsoft community. Beyond that, performance-wise, where I see things going, as you know, more and more, even entry-level products are coming with MOSFETs and electronic triggers and programmability and quick change springs. And so the more brands that offer those things, the more standardized that becomes, the greater the expectation for airsofters to have those items or have those advancements in their products. I think we'll start to see even more entry-level stuff have those kind of features as a default. And the brands that don't offer those sort of amenities in their products, we'll see less and less of. And I'm excited because I feel like the quality of materials, the quality of the engineering has gotten better year after year in airsoft, and I can't wait for even the most affordable products for even the youngest or even the most budget-conscious airsofters to be within reach for everybody. And that's exciting to me. Cool licenses, even better performance right out of the box, and hopefully more years hanging out with you guys. Who's next?
All right, well, that's it for my questions. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sending out your questions.
Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in to our SHOT Show 2022 Insert Questionnaire.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching Insert. My name is Michael. I'll see you on the next one.
So thanks a lot for listening. It's Bo from American Milsim, and we'll see you guys on the field.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed hearing some not so roundtable opinions from not just us here at the marketing team, but some of the other really cool people we have working for us here at Evike.com and EMG. It's really nice to get different people's perspectives, and hopefully we were able to answer maybe some questions that you guys had and filled out some knowledge for you that you might not have had previously. I'm excited for the future of airsoft, and I hope you guys are too. I can't wait to see you guys, hopefully, when this whole pandemic thing is over, we can get back to having events all the time. We miss you guys. Can't wait to see you. See you later.
Don't miss out on the action. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, check out our TikTok, and join us on Facebook for everything Airsoft.